Ladies and gentlemen, this is the original Razer Gaming phone released in November of 2017. This is going to be a very fun video because what we're going to be doing is installing the newest version of Android and seeing if this device can be brought back from the dead. This was one of my favorite phones. It's actually one of the first phones that I bought with my own money, and it's quite a nostalgic trip. Here I have the Chinese New Year edition of the phone with the gold inlay Razer logo. And honestly, it's such a beautiful device. Looking back in retrospect, you're never going to have a device like this with a metal unibody construction, and it is definitely from a bygone era of the past, and it's something to reminisce about. The Razer phone. You know, the reason why I'm doing this video also is because there are video reviewers on YouTube that go ahead and take a look at retrospect on devices, but they never put modern firmware on it or modern Android versions. They just review the firmware that originally came with the phone, and that's just not fair. Because if you're going to be able to use the device in 2025, then you might as well just put the most current firmware that's reasonably available. And here we have gone to XD developers and flashed Android 15 via Lineage OS, and here we have the Razer phone 2, the Razer phone, sorry, and it's really such an amazing phone. 120 hertz refresh rate on display, 8 gigs of RAM in 2017 was absolutely bonkers, and it really helps with future-proofing this phone. Like I said, a Snapdragon 835, octa-core processor. This thing was really ahead of its time, especially when you think about, like, even most flagships right now come with 120 hertz displays. This had a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It had a dual front firing speakers, very reminiscent of HTC boom sound. Honestly, the construction of this, like I said, it's something that we're never going to be seeing ever again, unfortunately. And it is such a, like I said, from a bygone era of Android where manufacturers did things a lot differently than what they will ever do now. So I did see a version of this phone. It was another version of this phone that was a prototype of the Razer Phone 3 that obviously never came out, and I thought that was very interesting because you ended up seeing the bezels on the top and bottom get very small, and that was very interesting to see. Imagine what could have been. But like I said, we're taking a look at the original Razer phone running Android 15, and we want to see if we can bring this phone back. And for the most part, I think it is really interesting because Android 15 gives a lot of features, like you can